104 right now. And I know that Timo, thank you for starting to record, Timo. This is the unofficial opening of me just not being able to shut up. So Timo, I don't know if you want to kick us off or anything, or do you want me just to take it away?
Yes. So this is a big experiment we're having today. And thank you so much, Ivan, for joining. There is a story. Actually, I met Ivan as a student. It was last year, and I was doing different courses on Coursera, and I discovered Ivan's course. I attended. I was very happy. I enjoyed it, and I subscribed to his list. Where earlier this year he was announcing that he's also doing a new book and like expanding out of Coursera. And then I was asking, like, do you want to give a session also for this community? And Ivan might be very shy, but actually he's one of the top-rated like teachers or mentors on Coursera. Teaches, I think, more than 100,000.
What, 130,000 students right now.
And tens and thousands also on Udemy and,
yes, sir.
In person. And I think his methods are really good and useful. Whenever you are kind of pitching your startup, you are pitching your idea as maybe a researcher, or maybe you are trying to get a job, whatever communication that where you have to convene somebody else to understand you. So that's why I invited here. Whatever your reason is today. And we're also having this event as a hybrid. Before COVID-19, most of our events were in person. Then we did a bunch of webinars in the course of last, I think, 18 months. And now we're experimenting today with first really hybrid events where people are dialing in and even the speakers are dialing in all over the place. But we also have a community here in Copenhagen. We are dialing in as a group from the University of Copenhagen, Sandhub, like student health incubator, and Ivan is dialing in from Canada, where it's still afternoon. So, and I see some Chinese characters in the waiting room. So it seems like we have also Asia present. But Ivan, now floor is yours. And
thank you, Timo. Okay, my friends. So first things first. I'm going to try and make this as interactive as possible, which means I want both the people in the room and the virtual group to be communicating. So for my virtual team, make sure we have our cameras on so the people in the room can see us and we can see them. Now, Timo, thank you very much for the introduction. Right now, we're all a bunch of strangers, more or less to each other. Some of you might know each other better than others, but I want to play a little game, okay? Here's what's going to happen. In a moment, I'm going to tell you 3 hard-to-believe things about myself. 2 are true and 1 is a lie. The virtual team, you're going to have a little poll pop up. You see that? You're going to vote. The people in the room, can you all just lift up your right hands for me, please? Okay, you're going to vote by like old school, hand 1, hand 2. I'm going to tell you 3 things and then we're going to vote. I want you to guess which one is the lie. And when I'm done, in-person group, you're going to go into little groups. And you're going to do the same thing with each other. Virtual teams, you're going to go into a virtual room and do the same thing with each other. Okay? So get ready, get ready. Here's 3 hard to believe things about myself. Okay? Then you have to do this game. Oh, and after that, I'm going to make you do it in front of everybody. Okay, nobody's excited. Perfect. Here we go. Number 1, I've met Leonardo DiCaprio. Number 2, I've been to every continent except Antarctica. Number 3, I can do a head spin. So virtual group, right now in the poll, can you please vote? Let me say the 3 things again. I have met Leonardo DiCaprio. I've been to every continent except Antarctica, and I can do a head spin, okay? So everyone in the virtual group, I see 3 of you. Let's all vote, please. In the room, we're going to do this by show of hands. Show of hands in the room. How many of you think that Leonardo DiCaprio is a lie? Nope. Okay. How many of you think every continent except Antarctica is a lie?
I see 2.
How many is that? 3?
2.
How many of you think the head spin is a lie?
Majority.
This is interesting because it's so different from the virtual team. So virtual team. Most of you, it's either Leonardo DiCaprio or it's the head spin. Well, my friends, let me tell you all something. I went to university at McGill in Montreal. And at the time, my French was terrible, so I couldn't get a job except as a background worker in movies. And if you've ever watched the film The Aviator, I'm the shoulder in front of Leonardo DiCaprio in one of the shots. And because we were hanging out for hours, you know, after a while, he's just standing there. And I'm like, hi, how was lunch? Good, how was it with you? I'm Leo, I'm Ivan, nice to meet you. It was very kind of fun. Fun fact, he's probably like 6'3". He's a really tall guy. You wouldn't know that. Yeah, that's a useless fact of the day. And if you get nothing else out of today, you got that. In my younger days, show of hands, is anyone here a dancer? Anyone here dance? No? And by the way, Anna, Carlos, Christina, SG, Jana, if you guys could, Petra, turn your cameras on because I want this to be a group thing with everyone. Okay, well, in my younger days, I was a break dancer. And if you find me on Facebook, it's a picture of me doing a head spin, but I've not been to every continent. So apparently I'm a really good liar. What was that? Oh, you want proof? You want proof? I'll show you the picture later. Okay, my friends, so here's what's gonna happen, okay? Timo, I want you to count off the people in the room. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You can join that, yeah.
That's perfect. So here's what's gonna happen. In the room, all the ones, find a spot in the room. All the twos, find a spot in the room. All the threes, find a spot in the room. Each one of you is gonna do the same thing. One person's gonna say 3 things, 2 are true, 1's a lie. Everyone's gonna guess. Then the next person, everyone guess. Then the next person, everyone guess. In the virtual room, I'm about to put you all into a breakout room. Say hello to the people in the breakout room with you. Turn on your cameras and microphones, and you're gonna play the same game. 3 things that are hard to believe about yourself, 2 are true, and 1 is a lie. Get ready, get set. You have 3 minutes for this activity, and go. So everybody everyone in the in-person room, stand up, find a place. Everyone in the in-person room, stand up and go find a place. Okay, and I can't see the in-person room anymore. Hold on, let me just go like this. Hey, what's going on? I said stand up. Where are you guys? Okay, you're in your little groups over there? Okay, fine. You can keep seated. Don't worry, keep seated. It's okay.
Yeah, they rearrange themselves. So they.
That's all good. Cool.
I already made it not 9, but I believe it. I don't have a That's number 1. Yeah, number 1.
So first one. Okay. I mean, preliminary is control with. It's always most European countries. But currency government. Yeah, third one. Yeah, they're pretty independent. It depends what you think is independent. Is Greece independent? But sovereign, they're kind of sovereign. Yeah, we did play my game before, but then the next. Rising Titanic. You'll go broke. I don't know that. Yeah, this is. Definitely body. Oh, nations. Very, very. Yeah. This board is also. Yeah. This one. Yeah. Yeah. That's the truth. Yeah. That's what okay, cool. Let's go.
Okay, I'll go next. And we have two next programs. Yeah, I think so. I once left a very elaborate
Yeah.
Kindle, right?
And also emotional, but you should.
The maybe the business. I still
Hello, main room. How's it going, everyone in the main room there? Has do you need a little more time or has everyone gone? If you need more time. More time? No problem.
Yeah.
Keep going, go ahead. I'll give you some more time.
But maybe it's a 5-year-old.
Yeah, maybe not.
How angry were you? True.
I get married 2 years ago. And
I think something just. I have a very good memory. I know where she's from. I think I would still go with. I've studied at hospital. She did talk about this. There's one. I think
no, 3 years.
Oh,
You have about another 20 seconds, 20 more seconds, 20 more seconds.
No, it's like it's a long name for I'll show you.
Is it Australia?
Yeah.
Like Uustal, Dawn, right?
Yeah. See?
So you like the kind of thing, right?
Small language.
Yeah, small language. I know that. That's correct. It's just Donald, but it's what? Well, give us a lie.
Okay, we're done. Welcome back. Gentlemen, we are back. We are back. We are back. So here's what's going to happen. All right. We are going to see who's the better liar, the virtual rooms or the in-person rooms. So in a moment, I'm going to pick someone from the in-person room. I'll ask for a volunteer. You're going to grab the microphone. You're going to come up so we can all see you, and you're going to tell your 2 truths and a lie. And then I'm going to ask the virtual team to see if they can guess the lie. And then we're going to have someone from the virtual team do the same thing, and the in-person team is going to see if they can spot the lie. So first of all, in the in-person room, does anyone want to volunteer to do the 2 truths and a lie?
So who's volunteering? Okay, we have a volunteer. Yeah.
All right, little applause, please, everybody. Little applause, everybody. What is your name, madam?
Can you see me?
Yes, we can. What is your name, please?
Carlota Oleaga.
¿Cómo estás?
Hello, everyone.
All right, so the poll is up. The poll is up. People in the main room, you don't have to vote. Virtual team, we're going to see if you can guess the lie. All right, my friend, take it away.
Okay, let's go. Number 1, I have a twin.
Ooh.
Number 2, I have a tattoo. Number 3, I have done skydiving.
So you have a twin, you have a tattoo, and you've gone skydiving.
Yeah.
All right, virtual chat, please vote. Virtual people, please vote. Oh my gosh, almost no one thinks you have a twin so far. Let's get everybody voting, please. All right, can you do me a favor? Come a little closer to the computer. Give me your 3 things again. I'm going to see if I can see it. Which one's the lie? Go ahead.
Okay, I have a twin. I have a tattoo. And I have done skydiving.
Okay, all right. Some of you know the answer. I'm going to see if I can guess first. So all over the place. So you must be a great liar because nobody can tell. In the room, show of hands. In the room, show of hands. How many think the first one is the lie? How many people think the second one's a lie? The tattoo? How many think the third one's a lie? Okay, so it's almost everyone is going for 2. All right, I'm going to say you don't have a twin. I'm going to say you don't have a twin. Which one is it? Which one is it?
I don't have a twin.
Nice. All right, bravo. So for better or worse, you're a terrible liar. I got you. Good, bravo. Round of applause, please. Round of applause. So now in the virtual group, does anyone want to volunteer from the virtual group to tell their 2 truths and a lie?
I can if no one else does.
Peter, you're going to do it?
Yes.
Just so you all know, Peter had a really hard time because he was like, I can't tell lies. This is very difficult. So we'll see if he was telling the truth or not here. So Peter, I'm going to spotlight you so you're the big screen for everyone. And my friend, you can take it away.
I have 4 professions. Second, I own 4 cars. And the third, my wingspan to height ratio is larger than that of most boxers.
That is so specific. All right, Peter, say them one more time, and then I'm going to ask the group. I'm going to ask the group in the room to vote.
I have 4 professions.
Okay.
I own 4 cars.
You own 4 cars.
And my wingspan to height ratio is larger than that of most boxers.
So you got real long arms. It's hard because don't we all want to see his arms now?
Yeah, I'm trying to squat a little so that.
In the room, by show of hands, how many think the first one, that he has 4 jobs, 4 professions, is a lie? You all work in healthcare, so you all probably have to have part-time jobs because there's no money. So I believe that one.
I do not work in healthcare.
Oh, no. Okay.
But please don't bias the group.
Okay, I won't bias the group. Number 2 was that you have 4 cars. You know, he doesn't look like a baller, but maybe they're just like 4 fixer-upper cars. That sounds so crazy. Carlos, what do you think? The third one is that I believe you have long arms, Peter. I think that one's true. Carlos, what do you think? Cordiero.
Yeah, I would say the 4 cars.
The 4 cars? I'm going to say 4 cars. Okay, people in the room one more time. Who thinks it's number 1?
No.
Who thinks it's number 2, 4 cars? Who thinks it's number 3? He's got crazy long arms. So most of us think it's the 4 cars. I feel like it's so crazy that it must be true. I don't know, but I'm going to stick with it. 4 cars is a lie.
It is.
So let's see those arms, man. Let's see those arms.
You won't see them because they're really long.
We can see the reflection back in the window.
Oh,
So-
okay.
My friends, this is how the next hour and a little bit is going to work. There is no one right way to speak. There is no, here's the perfect presentation. I'm not here to teach you a perfect way, the right way. I'm here to teach you tools. I'm going to show you one thing. Does it work all the time? No, but it won't matter because then I'll show you another tactic and then another tactic and another tactic. And you can choose which ones work for you. It's sort of like Batman. You guys know how Batman has a utility belt? So he's always got all these gadgets he can try. He tries one gadget, it doesn't work, doesn't matter because he's got all these other ones. That's going to be you. It's going to work like this game. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to put you into teams. You're going to make your own versions. And when we come back, we're going to see it in action. Because the only way to learn is by doing. You can't learn to change a carburetor or to change a flat tire by watching YouTube videos. Then when you have to do it in person, it's always different. So that's what we're going to do. We're all going to practice today. First off, it's going to start with this. I need everyone be ready to talk for about a minute, okay? About you're going to pitch whatever you're researching, pitching whatever company you're going for, what you're working on and why it's important. Just be ready to talk for about a minute, okay? Now, just out of curiosity, in the chat, I'm going to ask you to type this down. In the room, I'm going to ask for a volunteer. I'm going to ask for a couple of volunteers. Timo, you can put the microphone in the middle of the table there and people can reach for it.
Okay.
Well, you got to make sure they can reach it, my friend. Put it more in the middle. Perfect. I would like all the examples in the chat and in the room of what is the goal of a good presentation. What's the goal of a good pitch? Go. So someone in the room, grab the mic, give me whatever you've heard. In the chat, please put it in the chat. Virtual team, what's the goal? Let's hear it. Go. Yeah, come on. Everyone's so shy.
To draw attention to what you're doing and sell the idea to an investor or somebody who would invest in your idea or in your project or in your company.
Perfect. Hand that mic to some other random person. Oh.
Me or?
It's you.
Oh, it's me.
Oh, sorry,
Exchange of ideas, making the other party understand what you had in mind.
Sure. In the chat, we got to get a message across, to convey a message, to sell an idea, to make the audience listen and understand. Now, let me ask you another question then. In a room of 15 people, 20 people, 10 people, 100 people, what are the odds that everyone's going to remember everything you said? That everyone's going to believe your idea? That everyone's going to be convinced? I know everyone's so quiet. Okay, in the chat, 20%, 30%?
Less than 5%.
Less than 5%. In the room, would you agree that it's less than 5%? Less than 20%? Can we agree that it's not very much? Yes? Therefore, if you think about it then, everything we have been told about the goal of a good presentation has been setting ourselves up for failure. Because the chances of you achieving it are very low. Yet, that's what we all do. Why? Because no one has shown us an alternative. So today, I want to give you an alternative goal. I think that the goal of a good presentation is this. Can anyone tell me what these are? What is it?
Starters.
Yeah, appetizers, starters. Here's the thing. You have to think of your presentation as an appetizer. Because here's the truth. When you go to a restaurant and you have like all the good like appetizers, it makes you excited about the rest of the food. It makes you excited about the details. A good presentation is like appetizers because it does one thing. It makes people curious. And that is the goal of a presentation. Because if I can make you curious, guess what? You will read the slides later. You'll want to talk to me later. You'll give me your time. Versus how often do you say, hey, can I have the slides? And then someone emails you the slides and then it sits on your desktop. And then 3 years later, you're like, what is this? And you delete it and you've never read it. But if I can make you curious, you will. So how do we make people curious? Number one is by trying to find a strong key message that we can repeat throughout our presentation. Now, by show of hands, in the chat and in the room, has anyone here heard of the Ig Nobels? One? Ig Nobels? Okay. Two? In the room and nobody? Okay. So the Ig Nobels happen every year at Harvard. Okay. And what they are is a celebration of science that first makes you laugh and then makes you think. It's ridiculous. All the Nobel Prize winners from that year in probable research, exactly, Carlos. All the Nobel Prize winners from that year come to Harvard and they give out these awards for fun research. Part of the event is called the 24/7 challenge. And in a minute, you are going to do it. You're going to go into teams. Can everyone grab their cell phones for me? Grab your cell phones. Grab your cell phones, everybody. I know, right? Yeah, grab your cell phones. Grab your cell phones. I want everyone to put 30 seconds on a timer. Everyone put 30 seconds on a timer. Here is the challenge. Each one of you in your group is going to have to present for 30 seconds on your company idea, the research you're doing. You're going to have to pitch for 30 seconds. Not less, not more. One person is going to time, one person is going to speak, and then you're going to switch. Then, after you've each pitched for 30 seconds, you'll then have to summarize your whole presentation in 7 words. This is the 24/7 challenge. And let me give you some examples. This is from the actual Ig Nobel Prizes. Okay, here we go. Hopefully you can hear this all okay.
Rich Roberts. Today's topic, clock genes.
By the way, this is the Nobel Prize winner in biochemistry, in chemistry, from I think 3 years ago, Rich Roberts.
First, a complete technical description of the subject in 24 seconds. On your mark, get set, go.
The original circadian locomotive output cycle's caput or clock gene encodes a basic helix loop helix pass transcription factor called clock that is one of a family of genes that control circadian rhythm.
And is any of you even listening right now? How quickly do we make the decision to tune out? Even though he's not speaking quickly, but yet we all tuned out. Why? I'm going to talk about that later, but notice that in yourselves.
Mammals. More than 20 genes are involved with such catchy names as period and cryptochrome. The products of many of them are activated on others in success.
And now a clear summary that anyone can understand in 7 words. On your mark, get set, go.
Clock genes are responsible for jet lag.
Now, what would have happened, my friends? What would have happened if he would have started his presentation and said that a few times throughout that technical explanation? Because none of you cared about what he was talking about until he said that, and probably some of you were like, well, how? Which means he's got you. Let's do another one.
Graduate student at Harvard's Center for the Fundamental Laws of Nature, Carrie Cesarati. Her topic, LHC, the Large Hadron Collider. First, a complete technical description of the subject in 24 seconds. On your mark, get set, go.
The LHC is a 27-kilometer ring that pumps protons with energy as they cycle around. Any driver knows that fast objects don't make sharp turns, and the large radius is needed to keep the protons on track. When the protons finally collide, we can probe their particle substructure to a billionth of a billion.
And notice something, she's speaking fast, but she's not being very technical. Yet and still, most of us are going like this. Yeah, which means we're not listening. By the way, this is the universal sign for I'm no longer listening. You've all done it, right? But let's see if she can get our attention with the 7 words.
Of a meter, and their energy is converted into sprays of new, heavy, or exotic particles too unstable for our world.
And now a clear summary that anyone can understand in 7 words. On your mark, get set, go.
Measure small by building big. Size matters.
All about the Large Hadron Collider. So my friends, here's the thing. One of the fundamental problems, and I've spoken across various postgraduate programs, from health to biochemistry to earth sciences. I've spoken in business. I've spoken in engineering capacities and engineering students and in engineering firms. And the one fundamental problem that almost everyone has with a presentation is like, I'm not sure what the point of it was, because you put in so much. The smart speaker figures out one key message, and every time you go into a new section of your presentation, you keep repeating the one key message to make them curious, so then they want to find out more. You're all about to be paired off. The people in the virtual room, I'm going to put you into a virtual room with one other person. People in the main room, in the in-person room, I need you, if you would be so kind, to partner off in 1s and 2s. Oh, sorry, in 2s or 3s. Can everyone do that for me right now? So in the main room, grab someone you haven't worked with yet. Grab someone you haven't worked with yet in the main room.
Yeah.
Perfect. In the virtual room, you're about to go into a virtual room with one other person. One person does time, the other person 30-second pitch. Then you switch, then 7 words. Good luck. May the force be with you. Okay. And it's time for another volunteer. So here's what's going to happen. First, I'm going to highlight the main room. So all my virtual team, you should see the main room. Main room, can you hear me? Main room, are you there? Timo? Oh, perfect. I think the main room has been muted. Perfect. So, all right. So everybody in the main room. Everybody in the main room. Hello, hello, hello.
We need a volunteer. Yeah, we hear you. So we pick a volunteer, right?
I will volunteer, and I'm going to volunteer my friend in the turtleneck, the gray turtleneck.
Rich. All right. You are the volunteer.
Everyone, how about a big round of applause for Rich, everybody? Rich, I want you to come and stand up. Come and stand up over here.
Should I, what?
Yep, come and stand up over here. Perfect. All right, Rich, my friend, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to put my timer on. You're going to do your pitch for 30 seconds, and then I'm going to ask for your 7 words. You ready?
I think so.
Best of luck, good sir. Actually, can I get a volunteer in the virtual room? Diraj, could you get the timer going for me, please? And my friends, listen, when you are practicing your presentations, as Diraj is getting ready, here's how you need to practice. Do your full presentation. Let's say it's 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, doesn't matter. Then you cut the time in half. Then you cut the time in half. Then you cut the time in half until you only have like a minute. Then you find 7 to 10 words, and whatever you have at that core, that is the thing you need to repeat throughout your presentation to make people curious. Rich, no pressure, but we expect perfection, but no pressure. All right, Diraj, you got the timer going?
Yes.
Rich, you can take it away when you see the timer.
3, 2, 1, start.
Okay, so our startup is creating a research tool for working with pharma companies that enables pre-qualification and manipulation of cell clusters for early stage drug discovery. So before a compound or drugs move to a preclinical stage, we're helping them to manipulate and isolate in a faster way using photonics, optics, and artificial intelligence.
Okay, good. Bravo, 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 bravo. Now, 7-word summary that everyone can understand.
Enabling pharma companies.
Pharma companies, I think it's 2 words.
Or enabling pharmaceutical. Oh, okay.
Nice. Enabling pharmaceuticals.
To have the right drug to the right patient, to create the right drug to the right patient.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Rich, it's not bad. But that's okay. Here's the reason. And Rich, you can have a seat. Give Rich a round of applause. Give Rich a applause. I want to tell you, when we listen to those debates, when we listen to those versions, and when we listen to Rich, I give you 7 out of 10. It was good, but did it get a reaction? Why? When I was researching communications, my friends, I decided I was not going to go to communication experts. Instead, I went and I talked to RCMP police interrogators. RCMP is our federal investigation police. So they're like the FBI or the CIA in the United States. And I said, how do you know? Like, what do you look at when someone is lying? Then I went and talked to professional poker players. And I say, what do you look for? How do you know someone is bluffing? Then I went and I talked to professional wrestlers. Do you guys know what I mean when I mean professional wrestlers? Like Hulk Hogan, like, oh yeah, brother, like those guys. And I said, how do you get the crowd all worked up? I went to talk to buskers, you know, the people on the street that play music. How do you make someone take their earbuds out and look at you? And guess what I found? There is an overlap between the way people speak when they're presenting and the way people speak when they are lying. And it's why we don't listen. And once you notice it, you will always notice it. And if you know it, you can change it. So here are the 3 traps. And this is why when we listen to the 30-second challenges, it was hard, and why we need those 7 words or 10 words. People who are lying, people who are presenting are always nervous, right? And when you're nervous, you will fall into these traps. One is formalized language. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I think it is important that we highlight some of the key performance factors in order to better understand the drugs that we're working with so we can better reach, and no one's listening to me anymore. Usually that happens because you write it out, and the way you write is not how you speak, and that's why you can always tell when someone is reading. The second one is distancing language, is using third person instead of first person. And my friends, show of hands in the chat. I'm going to do this so everyone can see everybody. In the chat and in the room, by show of hands, how many of you would say that you believe in the scientific method? Okay, almost everybody. Okay, Sherry, nothing? No scientific method for you? Yeah, I see you. I see you. Okay, good. So I have a horrible truth for you. An anecdote is not evidence. We all know this. But it is more convincing than evidence. An anecdote is not evidence, but it is more convincing than evidence. And if you're pitching an idea, here's the thing. If evidence worked, there would be no debate about vaccines. If evidence worked, there wouldn't be people who believe that the pyramids were built by aliens. If evidence worked, we would all eat salads. But the truth is it doesn't. Listen, if I was going to show you a bunch of kale, we all think kale is healthy, right? Yes? We all kale is healthy? Yeah, of course. Thank you, Gillian. Why? And the answer is, oh, I don't know, like green or something. It's because someone said, so, you know, I've been eating kale. I've been losing weight. Look at me. Maybe I should eat kale. So, when you give evidence, you have to either before it or after it, follow it up with a first person example. Was it Rich? Was it Rich? Rich, hold that mic for a second. You can keep sitting, but hold that mic for a second. I want to talk to you for a minute. Rich, so you talked about the research using cell clusters to identify early stage drugs for treatments of various illnesses, correct?
Yeah.
Give me one example.
So AstraZeneca, like the drug discovery department in AstraZeneca is trying new compounds for a new drug. And then they are testing like a sphere cells from 3D like cell models from the liver. So then they need to test compounds in those cells, and they need to, yeah.
Compounds and cells for drugs none of these things are anecdotes or specific, which is why everyone's like, yes. So here's the thing. You have to follow that up with a very specific example. Like, what if my 7 words were using the liver to fix cancer? I don't know if that's correct or not, but it's specific, and people be like, why? Your 7 words can be specific to identify a larger thing because the goal is curiosity. Does that make sense, my friend?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So now, guess what? You're in the room, you're off the hook for a second. But Rich, I want you to hand that mic to some random person. You get to choose the next speaker in the room. But before that, it's time to pick someone from the virtual team. Okay. Does anyone want to volunteer from the virtual team? Oh, Diraj. Okay, awesome, Diraj. Timo, can you pick someone to put out a timer in the main room? Someone's got their phone, get the timer going. Diraj, you got 30 seconds and then a keyword and then 7 words. Okay, get ready. In the room?
Okay, go.
Okay, as a child of an immigrant family, I grew up in Hong Kong, but even though I have a Nepali origin, and it was very difficult for my family to see how they encountered problem while visiting doctors in hospitals and healthcare professionals. That's why I came up with the idea of connecting them, not only in terms of language, but also in terms of the culture. So I think that's where we need to understand for the healthcare professionals. It's not only the language that matters, it's also the understanding of
time.
The
culture. Okay. So that was good. A lot of us were like, I like that it was specific, but now you got to get us with those 7 words.
connecting healthcare, connecting culture, enhancing healthcare.
I like it. Okay, but here's the thing. That's a really good example of formalized language. That would be great if we saw it on a brochure. But what do we mean by that? Culture is more important than language for health. Maybe, I don't know. Make something specific for me. All right, one more time. Who's doing it in the main room?
Richard, choose one.
Me?
All right.
I was looking away.
What is your name, sir? What is your name, my friend?
My name is Bayram.
Bayram, okay.
Yes.
You're lucky. All you got to do is give us 7 awesome words to make us curious.
Okay, so not the 30 second?
Just the 7 words, my friend. And everybody in the chat right now, everybody in the virtual, as we're hearing it, can you please put your 7 words in the chat? All right, Bayram, take it away.
Oh, wait, man. Every time a software is done. Wait, that's too much. Wait. Okay, because my previous one is too formal. That's why. But I will tell you my previous one. I would say like invest in people, not the software. But that is too formal one. So
And you know what I love about what you're saying is that now you recognize that.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, who doesn't say all that businessese? Right?
True.
So I love that you're recognizing it. Take a few seconds. I don't see anything in the chat. Where's my virtual team? Where's my virtual stuff? So let's hear what we got in the chat here. Save people from the goddamn glaucoma. I love it. Let's have a PG version. Digital eye strain solved by good light. Digital eye strain solved by good light. What do you mean by? See, that makes me curious. And imagine if you repeated that throughout. Inhale medication correctly and breathe easier. I love that inhaling medication is better than injections. Could be another one that inspired me. Treating people with DAO deficiency with nutrition. What do we mean by treating? And is there a specific kind of nutrition that you're going for? Genes affect your blood pressure despite salt. Oh, genes are worse than salt for heart attacks. Digital power plant with data makes money. I want to know what you mean by data, but with data. But I think you're on the right track. Was it Baram? Did I get the name correct? Baram?
Yeah, it is.
Baram, my friend, have you been inspired by any of these?
No, I'm too stressed right now, but yeah.
Okay, we're going to come back to you, my friends. We're going to come back to you.
I'll think about it.
Yes, somebody remind me to pick on Baram later, okay? But now, that is the strategy for identifying a key sentence. Here's the next strategy. Gillian, can I just pick on you for a moment? Gillian, you know when we see presentations, you do a lot of presentations and stuff like that. What's usually the very first thing people say, and what's the first thing you see?
I'd like to think they'd say hello.
Okay.
And the first thing they'd see is the person's face. I don't know, or hands.
So after you say hello, okay, yeah. After you say hello, what do you say? What do most people do? They say hello, and then what else do they say?
Just a bit of an introductory background knowledge of myself or whoever is speaking.
Yeah. So and then what is usually on the slide behind you?
Probably the same stuff. You know,
Yeah, exactly. So here's the thing. This is one of the fundamental things. Most of us have heard things like this. How do you start a presentation? Say an interesting quote. Use a statistic. Try and say something funny. But you say your quote or you say your statistic and the whole room goes like this. Okay. Or you try and be funny, but you're nervous. And so how easy is it to be funny when you're nervous? And you try and say something funny and all you hear is this. Oh man, that's a long silence, right? 9 out of 10 people will always start their presentation like this. Hi everyone, my name is Ivan, and today I'd like to talk to you about some tactics and strategies to help you become better communicators. And already you're bored. I could see it in your face. You're like, because you're like, this is the standard. And right behind you is the exact same things you said. Now, I have a question. By show of hands in the room and in the chat, how many of you like cocaine? Nobody? Nothing? Baram, nothing?
Do you mean cocaine as the song or the?
No, I mean cocaine like the drug. Now, here's the thing. Okay, there's a great book. There's a great book. It is called The Organized Mind. It was written by a neuroscientist at McGill University, and his name is John Levitin. John Levitin, he wrote a book called The Organized Mind. And he talked about a part of your brain called Area 47. And Area 47, if you go to the end of your eyebrows, hold on, this is so everyone can see me. If you go to the end of your eyebrows here and here, there's a ridge here, right? On the inside of that ridge is a little bump, and it's in the neocortex. And it's called Area 47. I think it's Bromner's Area 47. And here's what the research finds. Area 47 is kind of responsible for two things. Number one, trying to predict what is going to happen next. And number two, it regulates dopamine. Does anyone here know what dopamine does? Maria, what does dopamine do?
It's like cocaine.
It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
In fact, my friends, cocaine essentially overloads the neurotransmitter sites for dopamine. That's how it works. That's why I have heard it makes you feel amazing, because it spikes up dopamine. Now, that's what Area 47 regulates. And here's what the research says. When you know exactly what is going to happen next, when there's nothing to predict, Area 47 shuts down and it stops the release of dopamine in your brain. You get sleepy, you stop listening. Because prediction is a survival mechanism. Just like when you do your presentations and everything is on the slide and you just tell me what's on the slide. So how can we use this to our advantage, my friends? Oh, Gillian, guess where you learned it? Now you know his strategy. Now you're all going to be able to use Timo's strategy. Do you see that? Timo starts all his pitches different every time. He's like dopamine. You're addictive, Timo. That's what she's saying. You're addictive. But hey, listen, what if we could make people kind of addicted to what we say? Here's how it works. In a moment, for your pitches, your next strategy, you are all going to create Area 47 openings. And here's how they work. You have to start with an opening that seems unrelated to your topic. And then after a few sentences, you make the connection and everyone goes, oh. I will give you some examples, but let me give you, does anyone here read? How many people read books still? Anyone? Show of hands. You know when books have prologues and they have something that happens at the beginning that they don't explain until like the middle of the book? That's trying to activate Area 47. When you watch movies and the first scene seems completely unrelated to the second scene, that's how they try and use Area 47. But let's use some example from the actual world of healthcare. Is anyone here doing any addiction research? Anyone here working with addiction at all? No? Okay. This is an opening that someone who was working in frontline addiction was doing for a pitch for research. And he started off the pitch like this. He said, and this was in front of addiction researchers, so they all knew this. If I was going to say methadone, how many of you have heard of the drug methadone? Oh, all of you, most of you have heard of methadone, right? How many of you have heard of Suboxone? Exactly. You see, Suboxone is the better tolerated, more effective, less dosage version of methadone. It's been around for over 10 years and no one uses it. That was his opening. I challenged him. Can you give me even a crazier opening that seems even more unrelated? And he said this, he said like this. Yeah, he said, okay, hey, show of hands. How many people here still listen to music from the 90s? Yeah, okay, great. What else are you still doing from the 90s? If I was going to say, here's a drug that's from the 90s, and we have better versions, but I'm going to prescribe you only this drug from the 90s. How would you feel about that? You think you'd be getting the best healthcare? Exactly. And that's what's happening with our treatment of addiction, because we are using methadone, which is an old drug, and there's better ones like Suboxone that are better tolerated that no one is using. See, unrelated, and then he makes the connection. Let me show you a couple more, and then you're going to make your own versions, my friends. I'm going to show you a couple more. You're going to make your own versions. What's the greatest invention ever made? This was from someone doing a pitch. I think it's the ladder. Ladders. Ladders are zero technology. They fix so many things. But what happens when you can't lift your leg to go up to a ladder? What happens when you live alone and you have to reach something up high, but you have no mobility? Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about a strategy that we are researching that's going to help the mobility of people over the age of 65. There, unrelated. Here's another one. Where are there more mosquitoes? At the beach or in the city? Any ideas? Somebody in the main room, whoever has the mic in the main room, where do you think there's more mosquitoes? Is it in the downtown core or is it at the beach?
Beach.
Beach? Pass it to someone else. What do you, someone else?
In a city like Singapore where there's a lot of water.
Okay, good. How about, Christiana, what do you think?
At the mountains.
In the mountains? Well, today I want to talk to you about dengue fever and how the proliferation of dengue fever is spreading more throughout the cities like Jakarta because of the concentration of individuals and the concentration of garbage. We all think of mosquitoes as something that are at the beaches or in the country, but the real problem is mosquitoes in downtown cores. That was their opening. Unrelated, and then made the connection. Does it have to be a question? No. Can it be a statement? Yes. Can it be a 2 or 3 first-person anecdote? Yes. The moral is it has to seem unrelated, and then after a few sentences, you make the relationship, and everyone goes like, oh, I see. So I'd like to teach you all a word in Cree. I know that we're mainly European, but if I said Cree, do you guys know what that means? It's one of the indigenous First Nations in North America is Cree. And their version, their word for welcome is a very Hixa Nipakalam. Hixa Nipakalam. It also means safe. Now in downtown Vancouver, which is a city on the west coast of Canada, we have a huge problem with Indigenous people and drug addiction. And today I'd like to talk about some of the research we found when we had Indigenous elders who could speak Indigenous languages in the emergency rooms and how that affected the quality of care for incoming patients. That was another opening, and that was from a nursing researcher at the University of British Columbia. Thumbs up if you understand how to make Area 47 openings. In the room, you understand? Good. Virtual? Virtual? Let's see those long arms, Peter. They're so long, I can't even see the thumbs up. It's so long. Perfect. My friends, you have 4 minutes to make your own Area 47 openings. Okay? You have 4 minutes to make your own Area 47 openings. I'm going to ask everyone I'm going to put you into breakout rooms. Timo, can you divide people up into a different group of 3 people? And I want you to work together to come up with each other's Area 47 openings. Here's a little trick. Here's a little pro hack. Use your 7 words to inspire the opening. So that way your opening relates to your key message. You're welcome. That's for free. You have 4 minutes. Timo, make some groups. Everyone in the virtual, you're going to go into a breakout room with a different group of people.
So different.
All right, have fun. Ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Hello, everyone in the main room. Hello, digital room. We are running out of time, so I'm going to jump in with a few things. We're going to play a little game, okay? We're going to play a little game. So everyone in the main room, can you hear me in the main room? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me in the main room. Perfect. All right, here's what we're going to do. First of all, I'm going to pick random names. You're going to give me your opening, and I'm going to see if I can figure out what you're going to talk about. Okay? First, in the digital room, I pick Catherine. Catherine, my friend, how are you?
I'm fine, but I joined too late for this exercise.
All right, we'll come back to Catherine then. All right, let's choose Maria. Catherine, I'm coming back to you.
Okay. My opening would be, have you ever had a migraine?
Are you going to talk about migraines?
Related to?
Okay, good. And you know, here's the thing. I know I'm giving you crazy versions. You should have a very flamboyant version if you're going to be pitching. If you're going to be at a conference, maybe you have a more conservative version. Have different versions of your opening. This is just a tool. Good. Alice, let's hear it.
Have you ever seen Gattaca movie?
Have I ever seen the movie Gattaca?
Gattaca?
So it's going to be about jeans or something. I know this one already, but I think it's a great opening because everyone would be like, here's the thing. If you go, have you ever seen the movie Gattaca, which was based on the book A Brave New World? You sort of know what you're going to talk about, but not fully, which means now I have to listen. Area 47 is like, well, what does it mean? What does it mean? I think it means this, but is it this or is it this? Which means now I have to listen to you. Good. All right, Timo, in the main room. Random person we haven't heard from. Here. Okay, striped shirt. How are you? What is your name?
I'm Larissa.
Larissa, all right.
Yeah.
Give me your opening and I'm going to see if I can figure out what you're going to talk about.
Do you hate it when you starve? Do you feel like you can't do anything? Well, so do cancer cells.
Oh, and then you're going to talk about cancer. Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
I would make it, do you hate it when you starve? Like, I think have you been, I like that idea. Some other variations for you. Have you ever been hungry? How do you feel when you're hungry? Cranky? Upset? What if you didn't eat for a month? What would happen?
Yeah.
That's what I'm researching, but for cancer cells. Can we starve them? Something like that? Yeah. Good. My friend Larissa, pass it to another random person, someone we haven't heard from in the room. By the way, does everyone notice? It's so funny. Whenever you ask for volunteers, there's always two kinds of people. Here's the behavior of asking for volunteers, and this is the behavior of fear. I'll tell you. When I ask for volunteers, there's two things that happen. One, everyone does this. Everyone's like, you know when you watch the National Geographic and it's like the tiger is here and the deer is like. The second thing that happens. There's one of two behaviors when people are afraid, and I see it in all of you. Half of you go like this. Look right at Ivan. Look at him. If he doesn't sense fear, he won't choose you. Just stare at him. And then the other half of you went like this. Become invisible. Fade into the background. Become invisible.
Like dying in the corner.
All right, Larissa, who did you choose? Your name, please, miss.
Hey, I'm Benedicta. Have you ever drowned? No, because that's how, but you must have seen it in movies, because that's how COPD patient feels when they're out of breath.
Oh, that's good, huh? See, when you start with uncertainty and you create that relationship, everyone has an aha moment, which means you have set everyone up with curiosity. Now they don't know what to expect for the rest of the presentation. And what would happen, my friends? What would happen if instead of you with your title and everything like that, it's a blank screen? You say that, and then you say, hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is so-and-so, and I'll talk. You do your opening, no one knows what it's about, then you relate it to your topic, then they see the first slide. Because guess what? For a lot of us, if we're early researchers, we are the ones speaking on Sunday morning at the conference. We're the person with the poster in the back of the room. But if you use these tactics, people will stop and listen. Good job, bravo, bravo. All right, I want to throw in a couple of other tactics for you here. So here's another thing I want you all to do. We're going to play a little game of Simon Says, okay? So everyone in the main room, I'm going to need you to spread out and stand up. Main room, spread out and stand up. Everyone in the, make sure your cameras are on in the virtual room. Yeah, spread out and stand up, spread out and stand up. Okay. Good. And just make sure that I can see you all. Just make sure I can see you all. You're all in front of the camera, okay? Self-regulating. Does everyone know how Simon Says works? I say, Simon says, and then lift your hand up. You all have to do it. If I tell you to do something, but I don't say Simon says, you don't do it. Very easy game. Very easy game. So, for example, Simon says, put your hand up. Okay, good, good. Okay, put your hand down. Simon didn't say. See, you're all terrible at this game. You're terrible at this game. All right, now, good. Simon says, put your hand down. A few of you got it. Good. Here we go. Let's get ready, okay? Simon says, put both hands on one side. Okay. In the virtual room, if your hands are up here, you're too close to the camera. Back up. Simon says, put both hands on the other side. Okay, now the other hand. Simon didn't say. Simon didn't say. Okay, put your hands down. Put your hands down. Simon didn't say. Boom. Okay, Simon says, put your hands down. My friends, you will always be nervous when you present. However, there are physical strategies we can use to look confident virtually and in person, and it's what we've just done. Here's how it works. Talk with your hands on one side, talk with your hands on the other. Sometimes one hand, sometimes both hands. That's it. This is a physical strategy because you're always going to feel nervous when you present. There's no such thing as not being nervous, but there are physical tactics. So for example, I'm going to choose my friend in the main room. My friend in the main room here. I'm going to say, Timo, yep. The young lady with the black V-neck. You're directly across from me. Young lady with the black V-neck. Yes. Everyone in the main room, you can go sit down except her. You can go sit down except her. Good. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Here's what's going to happen. I actually don't want you to use your microphone. You can put it down. I don't have to hear you, okay? But here's what you're going to do. In a moment, okay? In a moment, you're going to do a little bit of I want you to do your Area 47 opening, and I just want you to talk about what you're researching. That's all, okay? But here's the rule. You have to start with your hands on one side, and then at some point, bring your hands over to the other side as many times as you want. That's the only thing you got to do. What is your name, by the way, miss?
Ozreen, Ozzy.
Ozzy, Ozreen. Okay, Ozreen. Do you understand the task?
Yes, do my Area 47 opening while moving my hands, but without the mic.
Okay, good. Can we have a round of applause for Ozzy? Okay, Ozzy, you can take it away.
So I was walking across the city center. Copenhagen is so lovely, but kind of big if you're trying to cross it on foot. But now imagine if instead of a city, it was just one huge building that you had to walk from one side to the other. Well, that's the future that hospitals are going to look like in the future, because if the healthcare demand keeps up the way it has to date, hospitals will have to be the size of cities, and that is just not sustainable.
Okay, bravo. Now, here's the thing I want you to realize. There's a couple of things here. Okay, there's a book called You Can't Lie to Me. It was written by a police interrogator named Janine Driver. She works with the CIA. And Ozzy, yes, you can totally sit down. She says when people are scared, when people are nervous, they will always cover up their most vulnerable parts. And once you see it, you're always going to see it. Okay, look. Right? Now, here's the thing, gang. Look, I guarantee you Ozzy was nervous. Not only was she nervous because I put her on the spot, she probably felt like, oh my God, I feel like I'm being so crazy with this. But how did she look? Yeah. You're always going to be nervous, but by doing this simple, if you practice this strategy, you will look confident irrespective of how you feel. Because most people do this. And Ozzy, notice, right before you started and right after you finished, what's the first thing that you did? And I'm telling you, my friends, once you see it, you will always see it. And the way you build the muscle memory is whenever you're practicing your presentation, start on one side. That's it. Because what happens is this, the physical posture that you start with is what you default to. So if you start like this will always be what you spend half your time doing. If you start like this will be what you spend half your time doing. And the idea is people who are physically open tend to look more confident, irrespective of your heart beating or your sweat. I am nervous every single time I speak. You all have way more education than me. You are all people researching things from around the world. I'm some dude from Toronto. I'm always nervous, but I never let you see it. Because have you noticed that all today I've been using this strategy? Let me show you one more example, okay? Let me show you one more example. But first, I have about 5 more minutes. I want to give you another strategy. I need 2 volunteers from the virtual team. Okay, Catherine, I'm going to choose you just because, yeah, I know. But Catherine, you get to pick somebody else. Pick anyone else in the virtual team. Oh, actually, you know what? Oh my gosh, Catherine, pick someone in the actual room. Oh, you picked Alice? Okay, where's Alice? Okay, we picked Alice, perfect. And then Catherine, pick someone in the actual room, in the in-person room.
Okay, wait, I don't see really anything. So, the second guy in the white shirt on the right-hand side at the table. Yes.
Okay, this gentleman.
I meant this from the front, but yeah.
Okay, and then I'm also going to pick some white vest. White vest in the in-person room. White vest. Yes, okay. You 2 guys come stand beside each other near the camera. Here's what's going to happen. In a moment, we're going to have a little competition. It's going to be someone from the main room versus someone from the virtual room. And come on. Yeah, that's how it's going to work, okay? Timo, you and I are going to demo. Okay, so I'm going to make it easy. Timo and I are going to demo.
Okay.
So here's what's going to happen. You have to have a normal conversation. It's going to be Catherine versus, I'm sorry, my friend in the white shirt is?
Soham.
Sohan.
Yeah, Soham.
Soham. So it's going to be Catherine versus Soham. And then it's going to be Allison versus?
Carlota.
Okay, here's how it works. You have to have a normal conversation using only questions.
Okay.
You can't ask the same question back, and you can't answer with a question at the end. It's just simple. Let me give you a demo. Timo, ask me a question.
Is it raining currently in Toronto?
Can you see outside?
Is it very dark?
What time is it there?
Is it still morning?
What do you mean by morning?
Is it?
That's it. He got stumped. He got stumped. Boom. That's the game. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Okay, so round 1. Soham versus Catherine. Soham, grab the microphone, my friend.
We do it all the time. Do you want to go first?
No, Soham, you go first.
Yeah, perfect.
You're going to go against Catherine. And Catherine, you can...
I'm just going to figure out where Catherine is. Okay, right. Yeah.
Here, I'm going to spotlight her.
Yeah.
There we go.
Where are you all at? Where are you at?
What are you talking about?
I have no idea.
No idea. What's behind you?
What are you seeing?
Is that a monkey?
What kind of eyes do you have?
Do you have specs?
No.
Hey, bravo, good job. Round of applause for both of them. Go ahead and pass it over, and then I'm going to spotlight Alice.
Sorry, Catherine, I have an advantage. We do this game a lot in theater improv. So
I can tell you.
Fine.
Okay, hold on a second here. There we go. So it's the two of you. And Alice, why don't you start?
Where are you from?
Is it daylight?
Can you see outside?
What shampoo are you using?
Do you like curly hair?
What flat are you in?
Do you know IKEA?
Do you have a car?
Do you use bike?
All right, good. We're going to end it there. Bravo, bravo. Now, my friends, why am I asking you to play this game? Because here's the thing. It's a very simple game, but it's kind of hard. Like, you know, in the moment, you're like, because when you ask a question for 1 or 2 seconds, it is the only thing in someone's head. How can we use that to our advantage? The best way to transition between topics is through the use of rhetorical questions. And I'm going to give you a formula for this. If you want, you can take a picture of it. It's completely up to you, okay? I'm going to show you my favorite question transition. So if you're speaking, for example, let's suppose you're going to talk about like the history of a disease and then some of the potential treatments, you could literally use this sentence. And here it is. Now, ... the next question is. So now that we've discussed the history of the use of methadone in frontline treatment, the next question is, are there better treatments? So now that we understand that there's 4 main ways that we can treat addiction, the next question is, why is Suboxone so much better? Do you have to use this question all the time? No, this is just one. Here are my other favorites. Every time you want to transition to a new section of your presentation, use one of these questions. As you get better, you can find your own. But here's my big thing. When I'm presenting and I think that I've lost the whole room, I literally go like this. But why am I even telling you this? And the whole room goes like this. You ask the question and then you count to 2. And that is the secret also to using silence. In fact, think about it like this. People say it's important to use silence, right? Have you guys all heard this? You have to pause about pausing. Show of hands, yes, yes. Pausing, you've heard? But no one has told you how. So let me tell you how. You need to pause for 2 to 3 seconds every 4 to 5 sentences. Let me say it again. You need to pause for 2 to 3 seconds every 4 to 5 sentences. Why? This is not some idea I came up with. It's because of short-term memory. How long is short-term memory? Anyone? What do you think? How long is short-term memory? Has anyone looked into it? It's roughly 10 to 20 seconds. It's roughly 10 to 20 seconds, or roughly 4 to 5 sentences. Here's the thing, when you're presenting, even when you saw those 24/7, your 30 seconds, by the time it's finished, you've forgotten what it started with. So the smart speaker realizes this and pauses every 4 to 5 sentences for 2 to 3 seconds to stop the flow of information. So you increase the likelihood that something goes from short-term to long-term memory. And let me leave you with one last example, because I know I'm going a few minutes over, and I'm sorry, bear with me, give me 2 more minutes. I want to show you this one last example, and then an inspirational quote, because no presentation is complete without an inspirational quote, right? So let me show you this example, and you watch what he's doing in action. Watch what he's doing here, okay? Everyone see? What is the presentation about? Look at the title. If you hadn't seen the title, you would have been like, I'm sorry, what? Are we talking about what? If you did see the title, you're like, what does this have to do with anything? So he's starting with an area 47 opening. Now watch him make the relationship. And then also, my friends, watch this. Watch how he goes one side and then the other side. Sometimes he's here, but one side and then the other side. Watch it. Here he goes. Challenge to you is the next time you have to do a presentation, ask yourself, can I use an area 47 opening? Can I have a little good nonverbal communication? What if I ask people, why am I telling you this after 5 sentences? The more strategies you use, the more effective you'll become. And let me end, as promised, with an inspirational quote. My friends, here's my inspirational quote for you. Before today, when you had to do a presentation, here's what you thought about. All the things I need to say. After today, using these tools, you can shift your mind from all the things you're going to say to what the person will actually hear. And that's the secret of being a better communicator. So, my apologies for going 6 minutes over. I want to pass it back over to Timo for thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm going to share my contact information. My door will always be open to all of you now, 10 years from now, if you ever have questions. And thank you very much. Back to you, Timo.
Well, thank you so much, Ivan.
Thank you, everybody. If you guys want to put your phones up, that's my LinkedIn. Feel free to reach out anytime. And if anyone has questions, this part is totally optional. You can, Timo, if you're done for the day, you guys can all head off, but I'll stick around for a few minutes in case anyone has any questions, both virtually or in person. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Ivan, for this session, both in person here in Copenhagen, and probably all other locations. And thank you so much, everybody, for dialing in or like coming in person, and Ivan dialing in all the way from the other side of Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, I will pass your contacts also for everybody who signed up for the course. And if it was your first session, either virtually or in person for EIT Health Alumni Events, you can check out all the next good stuff coming at alumni.eithealth.eu/events. And maybe in the future, we'll have another session with Ivan as well, where you hopefully will be doing all the good stuff, AK-47, the right language, and all other things. Awesome. But thank you so much. And yeah, if you want to say something to Ivan or.
Yeah, have a good night, everybody. Take care. Thank you all for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Very much.
Thank you for enlightening us. And Timo, can you also, so that we can add each other, the attendance, the people who are in this meeting, along with Ivan and everyone?
Well, it's like all the people, they are, you can subscribe to, if you're not the member yet, you can just go to also alumni.eithealth.eu and sign up and say that you participated at this event and you're eligible to become a member. So
no, I am a member, and yeah, but I would like.
You want to like get personal contact details, or
maybe a LinkedIn so that everyone can get connected and network.
I can show you how to do this QR code if you all want to know how to do it.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Ivan, I mean, you are very private. Like, how do they say?
Let me show you. Okay. So for everyone who's still here, if you want, here's a fun little networking hack. Okay, you need. Does everyone have the LinkedIn app on their phone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, if you have the LinkedIn